back, I'm Gertie Rude. Back again, that Wednesday mood. Well, I've got us a treat. Ladies, and I know what you're all saying. You're all saying, Gertie, you're too kind to us. Oh, I bet you're saying it's Easter. It's Easter, and you're giving us all an egg, aren't you? You're giving us all an egg. Well, I would do, darlings. If I had 6,030-something eggs, whatever it is, 6,300 and something, I would give you all an egg. But failing that, I'm going to give you some lemonada, darlings. I am, can you imagine, lemonadas for you, from me. There you go. Shall we jump in? Oh my God, I can't wait for this. She's a female foundry worker, flamer. Something's happening, and she's confessions. Oh, she's like one of them smutty 70s fizz voodoo people. She's like one of them smutty. I bet she's looking through the window. I bet she's pretending to be a bloody window cleaner. I bet you that's what she's up to. She's peeping. Is she? Oh, is she? She's teaching people to drive. Confessions of the driving instructor. It's going to be smutty. It's going to be filthy. Right, well, I'm here for it. Let's jump in. Come on, what's happening? What's happening, Megalite? What's happening? Tell Auntie Gert. Come on. Here we go. Get excited. Get excited, everybody. Come on. Here we go.
She's been named one of Time Magazine's most influential people, in styles, women changing the world. The list goes on and on and on.
God.
You've heard of her.
No, who?
It's Whitney Wolfe Herd.
Oh, it's who?
Not only is...
Who is it? Who? I think that's where they got Amber Heard. No one wants to listen to that bleeding old thing anyway, but it was mooted that, she's got Amber Heard on. No, it's somebody called Wolfherd. Wolfherd. Heard of wolves. Someone heard of a wolf. Oh, a wolf once heard her. Yeah, it was probably talking to her, because they do tend to do that. Random wild creatures do talk to narcissists. They do. They usually talk telekinetically, whatever the word is. They do.
Not only is Whitney a wildly successful female entrepreneur, but she's the kind of friend
she lives in the wild with the wolves.
Who just always seems to know the exact right thing to say.
Right.
When I need perspective.
Okay.
Did you try your best?
No.
You know, did you really give it your all? And if you missed the meetings for the packaging and you let it slide till the final hour.
Oh my God, the packaging! Stop! It was groundbreaking. The world nearly came to an end, and there she was, sorting out her boxes, fiddling with her petals. Oh, God, come on.
Final hour, then that's
so
not great.
emotional.
But if you gave it your all, and this is the way
She
it
did
ended
it her
up,
all.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
And Whit is an undeniable visionary, but what I love most about her is her ability to cut through the noise, focus on what truly matters, and be vulnerable in the honesty of what that experience has been like. Even when you're like me and you're sitting around stressed about packaging. You're in for a treat.
Somebody is there an asteroid? Please, asteroid, wherever you are, I'm in Sussex, you can easily find me, just come and hit me on the damn head. Because we're now going to plunge in, oh my God, it's packaging, I couldn't sleep all night worried about packaging, I nearly stopped breathing worried about packaging, I did. Well, after a few snifters of, the jar, and a few vats of bleeding wine, go on.
Treat.
Mary.
How you doing, beauty?
I'm just so happy to see you, and this is going to be so much fun.
Again,
I know, me. And honestly, I just want the conversations to feel relaxed and easy.
Yeah.
Right.
And also thinking about how I am just...
So they're going to be stilted and awkward. Yes, we just know it is predictably.
I'm just in it right now.
I'm in it.
Talking to people who've also been so in it.
Yep.
And have so many iterations.
Did you talk to Sophie Chandulkar, the doctor? Did you talk to her? Professional woman of, African colour. Did you upraise her and uplift her and be orgasmic and authentic and classy? Did you do that? Did you do that, dear? No, you didn't. Anyway, let's go.
Many iterations, whether they've IPO'd or at the beginning of their climb, or
she's climbing
they
now.
Said, great,
she's climbing
I'm done.
YouTube. She's
and
climbing.
Then came back.
Stop climbing.
Yeah, those things happen.
And
what
then
things happen?
The evolution of that. So I want to talk about all of that, but I think when it's friends.
Oh, she's going all Charles. What's her name? Darwin. She thinks she's Charles Darwin. She thinks she's discovered a ginger ape. Well, she has, to be fair.
friends that are on with me that we have such a deep personal relationship and connection and love,
would it?
As opposed to starting with just where it all began for
so
you.
Deep, so
I want to start with where we first met.
I love that.
I love it.
Do you remember when I came to your house in a disco cowboy
outfit?
I
love it so much. I'm getting so excited. Can I join in? Can I be in your gang? I want to be in your gang, your gang, your gang. I want to be in the girls' gang. Oh, yeah. Bleeding twerps. Right, let's go. Let's talk about packaging. It'd be deep and meaningful. Go on.
Outfit? I was like, how am I going to meet this iconic, elegant, classy couple, and I'm wearing a rhinestone disco crystal ball cowboy.
I'm like a rhinestone cowboy. Da, da. Right, let's go. It's enough of that.
Cowboy outfit, because that was the theme on New Year's Eve.
that was yes, that was the theme for the party you were heading to after you had dropped by our place, and it wasn't the theme of our house.
Never say that the Markle doesn't give every detail known to man. Not content with letting her so-called very, very good friend, who's known each other forever and day, the BFFs, right, turn up to a party, a New Year's Eve party, at 4 minutes to 10 at night, and she was wearing blue underpants, she was wearing a green bra, and a rhinestone cowboy outfit. Oh, we're such besties, we are. She's got to have all the details. And you were only popping by before you went on to somewhere else, because after all, you wouldn't have come to my place dressed like that. That's so common a day ago. Wicked bleeding woman. Right, let's go.
Theme of our house.
No.
We were having one of those quiet, we have young kids, we aren't having a night out kind of New Year's Eves where we would have, I'd call it a East Coast New Year's. So that ball is dropping for our 9 p.m. and I'm going to bed. Yeah, but you guys came over with our other friends, and it was the first time we met the two of you. And to this day...
Oh, she went over with Daniel, the makeup artist, then probably the gardener. Do you get me, capiche? One of them.
Today, Archie still will say, when do I get to see the Cowboys again?
Right, so this was 5 years ago. So Archie would have been, months old, probably not quite 2. Oh, he's like, blimmin', what's it, isn't he? I think they've birthed Einstein. I think they're keeping him under the covers, you know. I think he's going to be a hero. He's going to be the most intelligent person the world's ever known. Honestly, I can remember when he was like months old, 5 years ago. I want to see the Cowboys again. I want to see that old broad that turned up in a cowboy outfit New Year's Eve, because you were dead boring. And then she turned up, oh well, put a bit of light in the bleeding miserable, gloomy old house. Anyway, I can remember it like it was yesterday, mummy. I really can. Bleeding load of hooey. He must have been about probably 20 months old.
For him, is so ingrained that even though your husband is a cowboy, and you guys, like, that is a huge part of your life, but to see a real cowboy as what was he at the time, 2 or 3?
Oh my gosh, he was so tiny, and they were so sweet. Listen, they were the sweetest.
There wasn't a they, because it was 5 years ago. So do the math. If it was 5 years ago, it wasn't a they, and he wasn't 2 or 3. Okay? Stop gurning. Talking like you just had a 2 or something you shouldn't have done.
Sweetest. And I think Archie ran out in like a Batman suit or some. Oh no, like PJ Masks.
PJ Masks.
One of those. Yeah, that was the beginning of our whirlwind.
Really
that was the beginning, and that was even where I didn't think it was going to become a friendship that would also be in many ways the soundboard for me with work and business and.
Right.
I was still in such an incubation stage, not even of a brand, but it just...
She was an incubator, you know. She was incubating. I don't know what she was incubating. Could it have been a virus? Could it have been some hen's eggs? Was she sat on a nest somewhere? She was probably out in the chicken coop. Yeah, she was probably bossing them around and organising them. Yeah, that's probably what she was up to. Because I can talk to the animals, with the animals. That's her, in it. She's just like crazy. Right, let's go.
Just an ideation of what it could be. And you always, think about so many times sitting there. So you're like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's make a plan. What's the business plan? What do you want to do? What's your essence? No way, this could be right for you. And just helping me.
Right, don't forget, she's interviewing her mate, Higgledy Piggledy, or whatever her name is. I don't know what her name is. Wiki Wolf? Something like that. Who's her BFF. She's interviewing her. So are we on the right page, darlings? Are we enjoying this interview? Are we finding out quite a lot about Wiki Wolf, whatever her bleeding name is? Wolfie Herd. Herd of Wolves. Was it Dancing with Wolves? I think that was it, you know. I think that was it. I think I've got it at last. It was Dancing Darlings with Wolves. It really was, with that gorgeous fellow from the film. Can't think what his name is because my mind is just a blank whenever Markle's around. Right, let's go.
Whereas so many people, I think, often will make the false assumption that when someone is really successful, part of that success is because they keep it close, where really part of that success is because you share it so broadly.
Right.
I think that's beautiful.
And so generously.
Oh,
no, but it's true. I'm talking about you. Like, that's how you show up, and I've loved that.
That's how you show up and how you actually engage, because you're so present, you're so in the moment, so orgasmic and authentic, classy. Oh, you're so present. Just stop.
That we've never actually talked extensively about everything that happened with you and your career trajectory, and a lot of it.
Nobody gets to talk, darling. It's always a monologue when you're around. That's why.
A lot of it is like covered ground. So I don't need us to go through all that. I think people know your story of going from
they do now.
Tinder and then certainly creating your own thing. But
so she's going to tell her, right, that's, you don't need to know. Look, right, she was with Tinder. Okay, she effed up. She sued them. She got herself some wonga. And she opened up Bumble, Rumble, Bundle, Crumble, something or other. She opened up and made herself into a billionaire. So the Marklet, she's like a bloody sticking plaster to her now. As a self-made, proud woman, confident of something or other billionaire now. You could be my friend. I will allow you in my friend's gap. I will. You could be in my space, my friend's space. Oh, you're one of me now. Oh, let's all sit here giggling, talking about packaging.
Would love to talk about even before all of that.
As long as I don't have to go up at your
Before
porch,
all of that,
I'm okay.
what was that voice inside? Who was that person inside that knew you had an entrepreneurial spirit?
I just wish she'd stay inside, really. Wherever that woman's hidden, can you please keep her hidden, Marklet? Just keep her in a little hidey hole, nice and quiet and possibly sedated. That would be wonderful, darling. Wonderful.
Spirit, or not.
Right.
No, I think that's amazing. And I will say, I do think your story is just you. Like, it's just an embodiment of you.
Right.
And I always think that those are the best entrepreneurs, where they just basically, I don't know, it's like they bottle their essence. And that doesn't have to be a perfume company, right?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I've done that now, haven't I? What have I done? Oh my God, come on, come back. Oh, Jesus Christ, what's happened to this? Right, bear with, we're getting there. We're not getting there. Right, where were we? What's happening to this? Oh, I'm going to have to start again. I can't. You're going to have it like this. I can't go through it again. I'm sorry, I can't. Right, let's do that. Oh, dear. I thought
About me, they must think I'm a this, they must think I'm a that, and so
no one thinks anything.
I like shrunk into this shell of myself.
That was nearly a fate worse than death. I just pulled that out of the bag. I just think I swerved that, didn't I? You won't notice that, will you? You won't notice that I massively effed up. It's because, I'm as high as a kite listening to the Marklet. She has that effect on me, I get all airy and breezy in my brain. I do. I think one day, I too can aspire to be mind-numbingly as boring as the Marklet. Anyway, so we've got Bumble, Whitney, Wolfie, Herd of Wolves, whatever her bleeding name is, and their besties. So are we on the same page? Let's go.
Self, where
we turtle.
Yeah, I just turtled. I was like, wow, I'm never going outside again. I'll just live, in my own isolated world. But then I decided, I was like, I'm going to rebuild.
In Britain, to turtle means something entirely different and very crude, which I won't hallucinate on, or elucidate, or illuminate. No, I won't, because I'm very ladylike, Yes.
I'm going to rebuild myself.
Right.
I'm going to rebuild myself.
But how did that happen? How did you come out of the shell and decide to move past that? Because I think that's really important for people to hear. No matter whatever scale they're at, there's going to be a point where you're going to take a hit.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a point where you're going to have to decide if you're...
What did she say? They're going to start doing narcotics. Live on their podcast. I tell you, I swear to God, did you hear her? They're wrong as about. They're as high as kites. I knew it. You can tell by the way she's talking. full of bleeding hooey.
If you're going to cower, or if you're going to conquer, or if you're going to rise above it. But it will be helpful for people to know.
She's a brilliant interviewer, isn't she? She really brings the goodness out of the other person. So you leave the interview feeling that you know everything about Bumbly Whitney, Wolf Herds of Wolves, or whatever her name is.
No, what was the pivotal point where you just said, okay, I can't do this anymore. I've got to figure out a way out.
Right.
And how?
Right, where?
Yeah, I had a moment.
Yes.
Where I realized it was crazy. It was almost like an out-of-body moment where...
Right.
I was reading all these crazy things about myself on Twitter or whatever the format was at the time.
No one's heard
you were reading it all.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because I thought, what is this? I realized...
Marklet never reads any of the stuff on social media. She's amazed that Bumbly Whitney with her wolf herd of something or other is reading stuff about herself on the social media. Hey, that's David Girl. You don't do that. No.
Realized it was crazy. It was almost like an out-of-body moment where I was reading all these crazy things about myself on Twitter or whatever the format was at the time.
Right.
You were reading it all.
Oh,
she
yeah,
was. She's already said that. Keep up.
What is this? Like a crazy... I know.
Gosh,
lesson learned. But
yeah.
I remember thinking, oh my God. And I think I had this out-of-body experience where I put myself into my
body,
13-year-old body. And I thought, holy, excuse my French, but holy shit. Imagine being 13 years old and dealing with...
Shit isn't, that's merde in French, so don't worry. Don't worry, don't have to worry about that, no.
Dealing with this type of behavior from the kids at school that you think are the center of the world.
She said shite.
Imagine... if these people talking about you were the kids you looked up to at school or wanted to be a part of their group.
Well, listen, if you were 13, organising a bleeding, as you euphemistically call it, a dating app, but it's actually just a hookup app, isn't it? It's where you just meet somebody for a bit of how's your father. And I think if you were 13, your mates at school probably would be side-eyeing you a bit.
Their group at school, and then you got picked up from school, and when we grew up, Meg, we could go home with no devices,
and that was it.
You're out of the battle zone. You're done. You get to escape until tomorrow.
Right.
They're going home and they're reading that all night long, and I literally was like, oh my God, I think I just went through this. I think this just happened for me, not to me. And my entire mindset shifted, and I was like, okay, what almost killed me can make us stronger. I have to go fix this problem for 13-year-olds. I have to go fix this problem for young girls and women.
Yes.
And so that kicked off the beginning of Merci, which was meant to be the reason why the name. Wow, that was a 25-minute long-winded way of getting to the answer.
By the way, but it's important. It's important background to get back to the why.
It is. And I think ultimately why I was going to call it Merci is I wanted it to be an environment of thanks and gratitude.
Right.
And thank you in French is merci. I speak French. I just like the name. I thought it was cute. And the currency of the product, the core defining feature of the product was going to be compliments only.
Right.
No comments, just compliments.
Right.
Oh,
and there's a lot of literature and a lot of studies out there that actually show you the power of compliments. How if you compliment someone, you can have this butterfly effect on multiple people's days. You say something kind to someone, it's a ripple effect. They might say something kind to the next person. It changes the course of the energy of the day. And so I figured let's engineer positivity into a product. Long story short,
Here we go.
Couldn't find any funding, randomly got contacted by my former business partner and investor. He kind of said, listen, I'm all for whatever this is because I can feel your passion, but my one prerequisite is that you got to figure out how to do it.
In other words, she's probably slept with him, hasn't she? Do you know what I mean? In my opinion, obviously, and allegedly. So, cutting through all the BS, probably that's what happened. Anyway, let's go.
I thought he was crazy. I said goodbye to him. Crazy. I never intended on speaking to him again. But then I kind of started thinking, wait a second, maybe dating is not so dissimilar from this. Maybe dating is broken for girls and women too.
Right.
And most certainly that was a correlation to my dating experiences. In high school I had a terribly abusive boyfriend, and then I just found myself in these toxic relationships time after time.
And
I realized wow, this is systemic. This is not just about a social network. This is about behaviors. And that was kind of the beginning.
Part of growing up, love. Listen. part of growing up. So she's going to go on to say, so what she did, she had this revelation on the road to Damascus, and she invented a hookup app.
The beginning of women making the first move on Bumble.
Yeah.
So
Bumble.
that's the long-winded version.
Like that. Oh, here we go. Pointless music. Music.
Since we're here talking all about female founders, I wanted to take a minute to tell you about one of my favorite female-founded companies, Jenny Kane. Jenny Kane is my go-to...
Yeah. Yes, let's not bother with Jenny Kane.
And free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code CONFESSIONS.
No one cares.
Find out why over 7,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair.
Let's move on from that.
First time I ever heard about you was in Time magazine, being the youngest self-made billionaire, female billionaire. Huge. What on earth did that feel like?
Well, you know what's funny? It's like, at my on-paper richest, I was my inward poorest.
What does that mean to you?
What does that
means what it took out of me to hit those milestones
was
actually robbed me of my real wealth. The ability to connect with myself, to take time for myself, to focus on my physical, mental, spiritual health, to focus on my relationships.
Because women all over the world, they just sit around all day ruminating on that, don't they? Just sit there thinking about your mental health, physical health, all of this and all of that. You do. We all have time to do that, don't we? Like, not.
To focus on the things that actually make you the wealthiest in life. So while my financial wealth on paper was this like crazy headline and like world record thing, whatever, didn't even matter because all these other buckets were so low. And so what has been beautiful, and I wrote a letter to myself over the summer actually, our stock hit an all-time.
It's quite mental actually when you think of it, is she billionaire or not? Obviously, you know, the marketing's great because it's a hookup app. It's just a thingy on the side piece app, isn't it, really? It's not a sensible get married app. So, yes, just she's amazing, or something.
Time low. And I wrote a letter to myself that day, and I said, today is one of the best days of my life. I said, because my other buckets of wealth are so overflowing. That it just
want to cry.
Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter what a stock price is today. It's not.
Makes me want to bloody cry having to listen to this BS. Right, come on, hurry up. I've got things to do.
It's not how I measure my worth.
But what made you in that want to write a letter to yourself? How would that become a part of a practice for you?
I just thought, you know what, I better clock in and I better check in because I want to remember this day. I want to remember this day. I want to remember that I got to a place of self-growth where on a day that should feel like the worst day in terms of riding the waves of success, right? Things always go up and down. And I just remember I wrote myself a letter and I just said, this is like the best day ever. I have healthy children. I love my husband. It's beautiful where I am. I hiked. I meditated. Like, I just reflected in this moment of gratitude.
Oh, she's just marvellous. Isn't she marvellous? She's the epitome of health and wealth and wonderful deliciousness all bundled up into a wolfhound herd of something or other. Whitney Wolf herd. I don't know who this bird is, but she's as bonkers as bleeding Megan.
Of all the things I do have.
Both bonkers.
And I think it's a really good reminder to people that you have to take stock of how you measure your happiness, your wealth, and how you define it.
Take stock in your actual stock.
That's right.
I think it's
amazing
how evolved you are. It takes a lot of years for most people to be able to have that level of wisdom and an internal compass. It really does. And
I mean, you're knocking 48, darling. You're nowhere near it, so we can live in hope, can't we? I don't know where hope is, but I wish you'd move there. Right, go. Come
Especially
on,
when you spent a career doing the
50 minutes
work,
of this
business
SHIT,
work.
Med.
How would you approach that, or what advice, I guess, would you give to people who are listening that say, okay, well, you're saying you felt so depleted and the buckets were so low or so empty in all these other categories, but it's because of that you were able to still get to this number and get those metrics, and isn't that the goal? And then you could fill up your cups again? Would you do it differently?
God,
totally.
This woman, she's just a menace. She's filling up cups now. She's filling up cups. Even I'm exhausted. Come on.
Totally. And I think, the one thing I can offer to the world is actually a blueprint of hey, don't take this route to the top of Everest.
No.
It's not worth it.
No,
Like, the view is not worth it. Don't do it, because the one thing you can never get back is time.
Yeah.
It's your precious time.
Yeah, don't hike Everest. Don't do that, especially in your heels. Do you get me?
And the
Both
amount
dizzy,
of
empty
time,
heads,
Meg,
so
that I
probably a liability.
wasted on being stressed,
Right.
being miserable,
Yes.
being overwhelmed, being paranoid about what shoe was going to drop. You know what? I actually think I would have been
What
more
shoe?
successful had I
shoe's got
not
to do with
been
it?
like that.
But can you turn it off? I say this because last night I was just,
Here we go.
you know, when your brain goes in a loop.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
Those 3 a.m. loops, and it's just like you can't stop
I know.
overthinking the thing, and
Right.
how are you going to address that? And oh gosh, with that packaging, and I want the packaging to look like this, and that's not the
Yes.
unboxing experience I had in mind. And what?
Notice she's interviewing Whitney with a herd of wolves still, but oddly it's still all about the Marklet. Anyway, let's plough on. Come on, let's just... Troops, hold yourself, brace yourself, and up the hill we will go together. Come on.
Mind, and how are we going to pivot? And does it matter?
Let's take this herd of
I
wolves
think you
with
have
us.
to really take a deep breath and say, you know what? How big of a deal is this? And I would size it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this going to matter? I used to use the rule of 9. So
Oh, so she's admitting she's been to the dealer, isn't she? She's. Do you know what I mean? Shh. Pretend we haven't heard that.
so I like the number 5 better. So, like, will this matter in 5 minutes? Yes. Is it going to matter in 5 hours? Yes or no? Is it going to matter in 5 days? Yes or no? If it's not going to matter in 5 years, like, throw it out the window. Who cares? Like, if
Oh, they're so wise. God, they're like wise women, aren't they? They're women and they're wise. Come
like
on.
if this is not going to be a defining issue in
Right.
your business,
Go for
your
that.
life, your family in
Yes.
5 years, like you'll be fine. And so when you're ruminating in the middle of the night, and you're like, oh, but the box came out the wrong texture.
Yes.
Well, is that a problem in 5 months? Like, not really, because you can switch that box. You can get a new box in the next few weeks.
Right.
So she's ruminating about her box in the middle of the night or something or other that no one cares about or believes. Oh my God, my life is so mundane, isn't it, up against these two?
Right.
Airheads.
And will anyone else know what the box was supposed to look like?
No
one-
Right.
no
That's
one
the other
cares.
piece. But I think
We've
so
given up the
much of
will to
it,
live.
especially at launch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
And
She's going to launch her box, you know. It's going to go stratospheric. It's going to go global.
first impression and the pressure, and I try to compartmentalize it and say, okay, all I can control is this extension of my essence and my aesthetic and what I want to share with people. But I think in that,
She's going to share her aesthetic and essence. Nobody wants to see any of that, do we? Do you? Because I know I don't.
that focus on the details,
God almighty,
at
this
what
woman.
point can you release some of the attachment to it? Right, to be completely
hopefully
attached
never.
to the process and
Yes.
attached to the intention,
Right.
but in some ways detached from the outcome.
I mean, you have to detach from the outcome. You have to. It's a little bit like the way we talk to our children. It's,
Yes.
did you try your best? You know, like, did you really give it your all? And if you didn't, like, if you missed the meetings for the packaging and you let it slide till the final hour, then, like, yeah, that's not great. But if you gave it your all and, like, you really, you know what, you did what you could,
Yes.
your team did what they could, and this is the way it ended up, like, it's gonna be good.
Look,
It's
she
gonna
tried everything possible with her box, and the way it ended up is the way it ended up. There's nothing anyone can do about it, and apparently this is words of wisdom. So are we illuminated? I think we might be, you know.
It's going to be great.
Are
And
we
I
near the
also
end of
think
this
that,
rubbish?
candidly, energy is everything. And I
Candida.
think if you're so stressed launching,
You need
your
some ointment,
customers will feel the stress
Yes.
of that. And
Yeah.
so it's almost like, shake it off. It's like, I'm not comparing our customers for our businesses to the way our children pick up on energy, but there's something deeply intuitive and brilliant about the way children can read energy. You know,
Right.
if you're stressed, children can feel it.
Yes.
I also feel that there's an intangible, invisible energy attached to launches,
Yeah.
attached to products, attached to all of this. And so you kind of want to, like, do a happy
And attached to hookup apps as well, allegedly. So I don't know when we're going to get there, but please, I'm begging you, please, just hurry up.
happy dance for your products and send them out the window, because like that happy energy is going to land on someone's kitchen counter, and you want that for them. And so I think it's kind of like, just shake it off.
And to infuse the joy into it.
Just
go
joy.
Back to the why. The why of it all was always in the spirit of sharing something that I loved, sharing a piece of what I loved that people maybe hadn't been able to experience. And
when you interview somebody, what I would have thought off the top of my head is you would introduce them, you'd give them a bit of their background, and then you would have a ready page of questions, and you would sort of ask them the questions and let them talk. But it never goes that way with the Marklet, does it? We always end up knowing far more about the Marklet than the person that she's interviewing.
I wonder
too much about the Marklet.
Your boys are a little bit older now. Do people know their names? Can I say their names?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bobby and Henry are a little bit older now, but also still in the same age bracket as Archie and Lily. Do you find that going through all of this as a mom was different than prior to, and your perspective was different?
Hills are alive with the sound of music.
Totally. I mean, crazy different. I think being a mother, as you know, nothing comes before that. Nothing.
No.
I mean, they're extensions of...
Right, you need to put your big girl drawers on for this load of old hooey. I swear to God, you're going to need them. Listen to this lot.
Our soul and our heart. And
oh my God.
Their well-being is our well-being. Right. And so I think it forces you to prioritize in ways that, for me, I never did before. I mean, prior to Bobby's birth, I mean, even up until I was literally delivering, I was opening my eyes at, God knows what hour, hitting it immediately on that laptop, immediately on phone calls, immediately pressure testing emails, stress, like make it better.
But she was making her way to £1 billion. Did you really expect to be wrapped in cotton wool and just wake up and your bank balance registers £1 billion? No. It means you get up at what one calls the morning, and then you do hit the laptop as you describe, and phone calls as you describe, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Eventually, you maxed £1 billion, didn't you, apparently, darling? But you see, there's people out there that get up every day, and their life doesn't just mean hitting the keyboard. It means hitting the streets, waiting in the rain for a bus or some form of public transport, going to work, working 40 hours a week for below limit subsistence pay. And every week of every month of every year is just the same. You just exist. You just break even. You just keep the roof over your head. That's what most women's lives entail. So I don't know what all this hooey about. Oh, well, I was just so stressed. I was getting up in the morning, having to hit the keyboard. It was awful. Go on.
What more can I achieve? What more can I achieve? What more can I achieve? And I could just burn myself out, right? But I was fine because it was just me. Who cares? It was just me.
An autopilot.
Yeah, boom. Whatever. I'll be fine. I'll work through the flu. I'll work through a cold. I'll work through exhaustion. But when you have these little angels, and they...
All women do that all the time, okay? Just stop. It's not groundbreaking, it's not earth-shattering, it doesn't make you a martyr, it doesn't make you a better person than anybody else, it just makes you normal. Well, say normal, not for you, but whatever, you know what I mean. Oh, God, these women.
And they need you, and they need a good version of you.
Don't represent women.
It literally forces you to make choices and to prioritize. And so I think the thing that has changed for me is I have zero issue now saying no to things that don't matter.
Right.
The way I look at it is okay, I could either be doing...
You should have said no to this interview, Mrs. Wolfie Hurd, whatever your name is, Whitney Wolf.
That thing, or it could be with my children. And if that thing is
that would have been a good...
going to add to the lives and the well-being of my children, meaning it's going to enhance the outcome of the business, or it's going to enhance the member experience of the business, why would I do it?
It's not high value enough.
Yeah, no, not right now.
No, having a hookup app, it's really hard work, it really is. It's hooking people up for casual sex. I'm married, we don't care. As long as I'm coining it in, it's so hard. I have to get up and hit the keyboard, take phone calls and all sorts of things. I'm burnt out.
And you've learned to create boundaries, which I think is so important.
They're important.
In business, it's so key, especially when you're talking about in the grind of a business where you have a small team, and then once you scale to a really large team, that they can have a touch point with you, but there's also a boundary so that you're protecting your own energy, you're protecting the relationship with the team as well. But you can, I've talked to a couple other founders about this, the pressure that they feel to be the cheerleader for everyone, and all of that makes sense.
She's a marvellous interviewer, isn't she? Marvellous interviewer. You always walk away with knowing, as I've just said, knowing far more about the intricacies and the nuances of the Marklet's mind, or what passes for a mind, than you ever do the people she interviews. You can't remember their names, can you? Didn't she interview Mariah Carey? That was the one I do remember. She called her a diva, didn't she? She didn't like that. Oh no, she didn't. No. And I think she interviewed Selena, whatever her name is, with the tennis. The only reason I know that is because I previously heard of, obviously, the tennis lady and Mariah Carey. Yeah, she's a very good actress, you know, darlings. She really is, apart from everything else. She's a good actress.
Makes sense to a certain extent, but also who's cheerleading you?
That's right.
Maybe that shifts once we have a solid family network, as both of us do, to be able to, and girlfriends that can fill up the cup in that way.
Right.
And we both had very similar...
She's got such a good relationship, I tell you what, it really is. It's the backbone of her whole life. It really is. Without this really good relationship that she's got, the Marklet, well, she wouldn't be able to sully forth. She'd be half the woman that she was sort of yesterday, or whenever it was, the day before. And if it wasn't for that relationship, she wouldn't be able to moot all the publishing houses about how much a book might bring her if, you know, say she got what one might call DIVORCE'd. Yeah, but, you know, it's the backbone of her life, her relationship. Without it, she wouldn't be able to do nothing. Go on.
Similar experiences, that we didn't know each other at the time.
Yeah.
With postpartum.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
And we both had preeclampsia.
Oh, God. Can you believe we both had that? It's so rare.
She had preeclampsia. Of course she did. Because Mrs. Wolf with the, whatever it is, the wolves, yeah? She had preeclampsia. So, of course, the Marklet had it. No one's ever heard of her having it. And like we all know as women, if she had have had it, we've got her measure of personality. She'd have been writing books about it by now. She'd have done interviews. She would be the patron saint of preeclampsia by now, let alone childbirth. That would be the next thing. Oh, I birthed a child. I literally am. Like Mother Teresa. But an old slapper version. Yes, I am.
It's so rare.
It's so scary.
It's so scary. And you go, and you're still trying to juggle all of these things, and the world doesn't know what's happening.
No.
Quiet.
So she's having a dig at the royal family. I suffered so much to bring your children into being. I had preeclampsia. Well, I didn't, but she had it, so now I've had it. And you didn't care, but you didn't know, and you should have realised I was suffering. I was suffering for you. Come on, you old broads.
Quietly, and in the quiet you're still trying to show up for people, and in the quiet you're still just trying to show up mostly for your children.
Yeah.
But those things are huge medical scares.
Right.
I mean, life or death.
Yeah.
Truly. It's like really scary.
Not
I mean, I'll
nowadays.
never forget the image of
Not
you.
nowadays, and not with private healthcare, darlings. Stop with it. I don't for a minute believe any of this, but if she did, well, whatever. Just don't care. Go on.
You, after you delivered Archie, and the whole world was like waiting for his debut, and like I was, you know, either just becoming or about to become a new mom, and I was like, oh my God, how is this woman doing this? Like, how is this woman putting on heels and going and debuting a child in this, you know, beautiful outfit in front of the entire world? Like,
right, I can tell straight away that Mrs. Whitney with her herds of wolves has never seen the Marklet in her heels pregnant, wearing beautiful outfits, because that never happened. That did not happen. So I don't know who she was looking at, but it weren't the Marklet. Let's put it that way.
I could barely face a doorbell delivery for takeout food, you know, like in a robe. I was like, please don't look at me. Leave it down the street.
Oh, get a Basil Uber Eats, man. I couldn't. Oh dear, so faint-lighted. Go on.
Yeah, can I be back in my cocoon?
Postpartum is wild. It's so wild.
Oh, postpartum.
It's almost like one foot in one world and one foot in another world, and it's a.
I'm not being funny. Only rich women have postpartum. Everyone else, female that I've ever known, has a baby, and you know, you're back on your feet in a couple of hours, and you're getting on with the world, getting on with life, begging the hospital to release you so you can get home and feed your kids, the other kids, you know, or just you can't afford to lie around going on whiftering on about postpartum, because without being too illustrative of postpartum, it isn't actually for the average woman. It's just like a few words that I can't really say on YouTube, and you just get on with your life, don't you? Postpartum. It would be to say rich women have that. We don't. The rest of us don't.
It's a very confusing place to live in. I wonder if it's how we were raised to think like, oh, once you're a mom, like that's the primary goal. But it's, it's so funny. I can't distinguish if it's society or if it's an innate feeling in me.
Yeah, I don't know if it's nature or nurture. I think a lot of, you also have to layer in the fact that we became moms in this post-pandemic culture too, where there's so much more working from home.
Yes.
And I wonder if it would feel different. Like, yes, you'll still travel for work.
When you say working, okay, we'll leave that.
As will I. But I wonder if it's... I don't leave the house to go to an office. My office is here.
Oh, here you are.
So oftentimes...
Oh, she's amazing.
Lily still naps. She gets picked up early and she naps, and she only has a half day in preschool.
Right.
So if she wakes up and she wants to find me, she knows where to find me. Even if my door is closed to the office, she'll be sitting there on my lap during one of these meetings.
Yeah. She'll probably be somewhere in the 16-bedroom mansion screaming at the staff, won't she? That's how her kids will find her. Go on. Going on all the time.
With a grid of all the executives, and here we are. And I think, that could have something to do with it. But also, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh
I don't want to miss those moments. I don't want to miss pickup if I don't have to. I don't want to miss drop off. And
I don't either.
And I think what I do love the most about having young kids in this chapter while I'm building is the perspective that it brings.
I just want to march around with no drawers on in front of all the veterans that are all limbless. Oh, look at me, I've got legs, that's what I want to do. I want to be on a private jet flying hither and thither across the world. Oh, when I do like half an hour's work, I need a week's holiday somewhere, obviously free on Elton John's jet. And yes, and at some point I remember I've got kids and spend a couple of hours with them. Go on.
Because you're building something while your child's going through potty training.
You're like, hold on, sorry. We're having multiple accidents around here.
And both are just as important.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, great, okay, where's the Cheerios? Well done. And then you're championing your team 10 minutes later about something that is really high value for...
So she's saying that she has to swap between modes of being a mum and then being this high-powered leader and executive, achieving back officer, or whatever it is she does that nobody knows or can discern or cares, right? Oh, she does. She's such a high-powered woman of the world. We all should just look up to her. We really should. I might actually, when I finish doing this, I'm going to light candles for her. I really am. I think we should all light candles across the globe and just genuflect and maybe say a silent prayer. Maybe a tearful silent prayer would be more appropriate, as it's the Marklet.
Value for the world, but in your own world, that's super high value, and in her world, that's super high value.
I love that. I think that perspective is beautiful, and I don't think they're all that dissimilar. I mean, because when you launch a company, it is a baby of some kind, right?
No,
like there is such an emotional attachment, something you do in a different way, obviously, but metaphorically birth, right? Like you conceive of the...
Right, well, she's going to keep sideswiping the issue that her actual billionaire, look at me, I'm an entrepreneur, was a hookup app for casual sex. And with that, I've done 39 minutes, it's 50 minutes and 7 seconds that I'm never going to get back. Please let me off the hook, right? This is all I can endure. I cannot listen to these empty airheads and the current state of the world. It's just, too much. I can't. I'm sorry. I love you all individually, but this is enough. You can find it if you Google it. Lemonada Confessions of a Female Flounder. Oh, God. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, have a great afternoon, morning, evening, and good night. Love you.